Well, hello guys, my name is Nick and welcome to day 4 of Ford Week. Yes, I'm doing this 4 days in a row, please applaud to me. I haven't given it up yet. Today, a Ford Anglia, one of my all-time favorite cars that I really want to own in real life. I'm gonna tell you why in a little bit, but first we have to take a look at this thing. If you want your chance to win this Burago Ford Escort RS Cosworth, go to the link in the description down below or the top right of your screen to enter the giveaway. After this video I've done, of course. There it is, the Anglia flying into screen, which also giveaways the reason why I really love this car. It was in Harry Potter, my all-time favorite movie. I love the Harry Potter franchise, and I'm not going for a Harry Potter replica at all, not even close. I just want to build the Anglia I really want. It's a light blue one with a white roof. I know that's also the Harry Potter one, but the blue is, well, quite a lot different than in the Harry Potter franchise. So let's go for the disassembly. First, take my handy dandy drill and drill out the rear rivet. The front is just been held in by the little slot. So about 15 minutes of drilling. My handy dandy screwdriver prying open the base. And when it releases in about now, you can just slide out the base because it's held in the front with a little tap. So then the window's also been held in by one rivet. You have to drill that out, but be really careful you don't drill through the roof. It haven't happened to me yet, but I just see it happening to me. I'm just an idiot, so it probably will happen to me in the future. So when the window is released, I go to disassembly of the base. With newer Matchbox or newer diecast car, you can just lift out the axles, but with this one you actually have to Dremel out the axles. I actually found the name for my yellow thing. It's a Dremel. So I just put my finger on one side of the axle so the axle can spin freely. I take my Dremel off the little metal edge on the axle, and the wheel just falls off, and I can slide through the axle from the other side. So again, one on the front, one on the back. Obviously there are 4 wheels and 2 axles. And let's go to the Sandblaster, my new favorite step of every restoration, and obviously I think the best investment I've made for this channel. It takes me a minute to take off the paint, and I don't have any work afterwards. I don't have any cleanup afterwards. And for those who know me, I hate cleaning up. Well, take a look at my room, would my mother say. Oh well, so let's take a look at the car a little bit closer, and there it is out of the Sandblasters. Now, the car does not come with an interior from the factory, but I want an interior in this car, so I decided, hey, I can just make one. How hard can it be? Quite hard, actually. So I found a basically wordless interior in my parts bin, and I'm going to modify it to fit in this Anglia. As you can see, I tried to fit it. It's a little bit too wide because of those 2 little tabs, so I Dremeled them off. Just speed up the process a little bit. Once those were Dremeled off, I test fitted them again. Right here. So just pull it off. Just test fitting this again. As you can see, it's kind of fitting width-wise, but it's way too long, and I don't want a towing hook on my Anglia. So next, pull it out again. If it comes out, it's pretty tight. I think I'm reaching for my snippers or tweezers. I also forgot the name from this thing I'm using to snip off the tow hook. So I snipped off, well, not too much, because I still wanted it. No open spaces in the car, but it is not nearly enough, as you can see right here. Next, after about 10 minutes of, cutting and cutting and cutting, it started to fit. As you can see, there's still a little gap in the back where the back seat is. So taking it back out again. And also I drilled out some little holes, because in the casting itself there are also 2 little outdentations, I guess you call them. So what do I have to do to make this fit? Just Dremel off the top of every seat, or the corner of every seat, and it fits like a glove. Obviously the windshield has to go in, so the steering wheel will sit a little bit lower, and the guy that's in the driver's seat isn't glued in yet, so it's hitting the roof. But if you glue it in, it will sit nice and perfectly. One more step is to Dremel off those little bits, and the wheels can just fit again. Let's prove that it actually fits. So get it in, get it over the 2 little tabs, press it in. It's not 100% perfect, so I did a little bit more Dremeling after this part is done, but snapping in the base, making sure that still fits, because if that didn't fit, the interior would be just scrapped. And there it is, just snap it into place, Nick, snap, there we go. And it's in, and it looks quite good, if I do say so myself. So I have an Anglia with an interior, awesome. It actually kind of worked pretty good. I've spent about 15 to 20 minutes on this interior, so in the future I can do it with more models, awesome. So next step is the primer. Obviously for primer you have to take off the interior again and off the base plate again, because we don't want that white in the interior. Spoilers, I'm going to paint the interior kind of detailed, not really that detailed, but kind of detailed in a future step of this video. For primer, a fine surface primer by Tamiya, doing 2 to 3 coats, leaving 10 to 15 minutes to dry between coats. It's quite warm in a workshop, so the paint dries up relatively quickly. Also making sure I do the inside for sure, because you do still see the inside of the car, because the interior doesn't quite go all the way up to cover up every bit of the metal in the interior. Then it's going to be a 2-color, like I said. First, the roof. I'm painting it white. You cannot really see it that I'm painting it white, but promise me there's white paint coming out of my airbrush. I promise you. Next, let's do the base. I already did 1 layer of primer on the base, and now I do a coat or 2 coats of black on the base. Then I taped off the roof and did the blue color. Now the Harry Potter Anglia is really light blue, almost like sky blue. I have no idea how to describe it. I have gone with a well, a lot not dark blue, but darker than the Harry Potter Anglia. So next, let's go on to the fine details of the interior, one of my favorite steps of every restoration. So the interior is going to be red. I was actually going to do it black because it really fits the blue of the car, but then the interior would just get, well, lost in, because you have to see through a green windshield. If you have a black interior, everything's just got lost. So when the interior is painted red, I glued in the little man, and I started detailing him, which actually turned out. I was really skeptical about this step because I have no idea how good I would be with this, but I painted his hands and face, well, pink. I didn't really have skin color. Then some black hair, because I didn't have brown. Next, let's do the upper shirt. I decided to go with a dark green mixed with the thin layer of paint. It would look kind of green, white-ish, and it looks pretty good. So first I started with a paintbrush for the bigger areas, and then take my toothpick to finish off the areas I couldn't really reach with the paintbrush without ruining all the rest of the paints. Trying not to make his hands green, because then I have to put pink all over again. Next, when this shirt is all painted in, I take a can of blue paint and I, well, kind of painted in a jeans pants. Not really, but it looks pretty good. I do have a picture. English much, yes. I do have a picture to show the end result, right? I think here, there it is. Look how cute the little man is. I really love how this thing turned out. I wish the windshield wasn't that green, because in the end you don't 100% get to see the end result, but I just know he's in there, and that warms my heart so much. Then for the fine details of the car itself, take my paintbrush and paint in the grille, the front and rear bumper, and obviously also paint in the headlights in the same chromish color. Sometimes I do them white, yellow, but I just really thought, why my camera fell, it would take away from the end result of the car. Next, take my toothpick and paint in the rear lights. Now there's supposed to be blinkers in there somewhere, but I don't really like orange on my blue car, so that's why. Next, the reassembly. The thing that makes my car go back together, because the Nick in the past is actually listening to me. So first, let's glue in the windshield. There was a little cut right there because I glued the top on my glue thingy, so I painted in, not English much today, oh my god, I glued the top on the glue spout, there it is. So when the windshield is, well, drying, I take my that thingy, because I don't know English, I don't even know the name in Dutch, so don't mind me. I actually put the wheels and axles back together. So the front axle, take that thing and squeeze the axle back together so the wheel cannot fall off again. And do the same process with the rear axle. Then when that is done, I know the Nick from the past is a little bit slow today. A little bit faster, Nick. There we go. Just all your force, all your chicken force, and it's done. Awesome. Then, in the meantime, the windshield dried. I put in the interior. Took me a couple of times because I'm stupid like that. So when the steering wheel isn't being an ass, because I tested it without the windshield in, but it still fits really good. And there are these little men. How cute. I love how this thing turned out. Love it. So when the man and interior is back into place, I take the base plate and place it back on the car. Like the last time, just slide in the front and snap in the back. Right, snap it in, there it is, it's snapped in. Then I take a little self-tapping screw and screw in the base, so it can be easily taken apart again in the future. So let's take a look at it before the restoration, when it was still kind of closer to the original Harry Potter color, but it's missing almost all of the paint. And let's take a look at it after the restoration, when it's nice and dark, no, light dark blue, white roof, nice painted in details, and there's a little man inside the car. It deserves a little bit more light. Oh, off camera I polished the windshield, so that's why it's not in the video. So, please, leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you in a future video. Bye.